Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Ghost Boy, and I'm here to make a sad video for you guys. I'm about to count down my top 7 disappointing albums of 2019. Oh man, can't wait to make this list. Can't wait to put this video out. Can't wait to get all the criticism. I didn't get a lot last year. I don't think I got any last year actually, but yeah. And no, obviously this is going from best to worst. The last 2 being straight up just fucking dumpster fires. And the first 3 being like, okay, this is good, but come on, I expected better. Make it better. But yeah, without further, who says further ado anymore? I don't. Fuck that shit. Let's get started with the top 7 disappointing albums of 2019. At number 7, starting off our list, we have Gideon with Out of Control. It's not necessarily that I dislike this album. In fact, I do think there are a few kick-ass songs on here. But the overall vibe of the album is just not to my liking whatsoever. Half of it is pretty good, but the songs on here that I dislike just make me feel like I'm 13. And another thing that works against this album for me is the guitar tone. It sounds a bit staticky, and it's almost like they got pranked by the person working at the studio they recorded this at, and he or she decided it would be a good idea to fuck it up. In conclusion, this album was a very odd listen, but for me to this album was a very odd listen for me, but other than the vibe and the guitar tone, it was alright. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is an album that I reviewed in September that I really liked when I first heard it, but then my mind changed. So number 6 is Being as an Ocean Proxy Animal Story. Yeah, that hurts, because I love Being as an Ocean, man, one of my favorite bands of all time. But yeah, my mind drastically changed on this album. It blew me away on my first listen, but then I heard it again and I was like, nope. And the melodies on a good portion of the song here are just so weak and boring. And I expected better after hearing the first 2 songs, Play Pretend and Find Our Way, because for a second I thought we were in for some post-hardcore, but it's like, what? Like those 2 songs, like the odd mans, I'm gonna say mans, fuck you, out. But instead of post-hardcore, you get lo-fi hip-hop, which I like lo-fi hip-hop, but the way Being as an Ocean does it is just not really for me, and you're probably thinking, hey Marcus, you're only dissing this album because you're a closed-minded metal elitist. You're an idiot. I'm dissing this album because it's just not for me. Coming in at number 5, Issues, Beautiful Oblivion. You know what? I'm just going to tell you this right here, right now. This is exactly what I expected from this album after they kicked out Michael. It's still heavy, but it's not the same, and just as I suspected, they mellowed down even more. I'll be honest, I really enjoyed the first 2 singles they put out, Tapping Out and Drink About It. About an hour in that sentence. But then the 3rd single, Flexin', came out, and let's be honest, that was one of the worst songs to ever be created. Period. Also, the fact that they kicked out Michael because they didn't want unclean vocals, and then to use clean vocals on Tapping Out is very hypocritical. But overall, the album bores me. It's just so stale, and it's just, listening to it feels like a blur in a way. And yeah, it just didn't click with me. Sorry, not sorry. Number 4 is Obey the Brave, Balance. Now, the only reason this album made its way on the list is because I just don't like Alex's vocals on here. They just ruined it for me, honestly. And also, it goes without saying that this album, come on, let's be honest, it doesn't sound a thing like Obey the Brave. There's like, it's like they turned it to a completely different band. And while there are some kick-ass songs on here, the vocals just kill the mood, and the melodies bore the fuck out of me. That's all. Moving on. Whatever. I don't know. I can't speak. Fuck you. Number 3 is Fallujah, Undying Light. much like Balance, I have the same issue. The vocals on here are fucking atrocious. And, like, their vocals literally sounds like an autistic banshee. Like, the riffs on here bore me to death, and there's honestly not much this album has to offer, in my opinion. They sound like they're trying to be atmospheric, but can't. So they rely on these open notes and memory-haunting vocals to make them sound that way. Sorry, let me scroll down. I wrote notes on here, because you've seen my past reviews from 2018, and they suck. To make them sound that way, and I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but to me it definitely sounds that way. These next two albums you guys probably saw coming if you saw my reviews for both of them at the beginning of the year. But I'm going to say them anyway. Number 2 is Bring Me the Horizon, Amo, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I've overstayed my welcome shitting on That's the Spirit. In fact, I've actually grown to like that album. I gave it a re-listen in like September, and I was like, okay, yeah, I've shit on this too much. But this shit right here, this is fucking terrible, man. Single-handedly the most generic and cringeworthy album these guys have ever made. Okay? They've literally become a full-on mainstream pop band, pop act at this point. Like fucking Coldplay or some shit, I don't know. Now you guys know that I'm open to all kinds of music, but the way Bring Me the Horizon does pop music is just not to my liking at all. Almost every... Wait. Excuse me. Almost every song sounds the same. And the melodies are just so stale and boring. And I know I say boring a lot in this video, but you'll know what I'm saying if you also don't like these. I'm not gonna lie, I think Mother Tongue is a fucking kick-ass song. But everything else on here is just hot garbage. Yeah. Alright, number 1. This is easy. Papa Roach, Who Do You Trust? Oh, man. Remember what I said about Amo? How it's boring, generic, and cringy? Literally take that description right there and dip it in mayonnaise. What the fuck happened to this band? They literally went from sounding like Papa Roach, like a daddy cockroach, but the new metal version, to Panic at the Disco, not even 2 years after Crooked Teeth came out. Holy shit! This is hands down the worst thing I've heard this year from a band that I love. Come Around is the only good song on here, okay? I will be honest, I do love that song. But every other song on here is generic, boring. Guess I'm saying boring again, don't judge me. And in a way it reminds me of the 2010s like scene phase that a lot of kids my age went through. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I hate this album, and it's definitely the number 1 spot. Now, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you somewhat maybe agree with some of these. I know for a fact some people will. There's gonna be some people that are gonna be like, "Oh my god, you can't diss that, you fat fuck." Yes, I can. It's a free country. Fuck you. But yeah, this video is very negative. But hey, it's disappointing albums. I mean, what do you expect? Not sure when I'm going to do my... and I'm doing a top 20 albums of the year. Then I'll be doing a top 20 albums of the decade. Stay tuned for that. Oh, sorry. Thought I had to burp. But I didn't. Oh, never mind. I did. Yeah, I'm done with this video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that shit. But... yeah, my mind drastically changed on this album. It blew me away on my first listen, but then I heard it again and I was like, nope. Ow. Okay, that doesn't work.